So my memories of the in-series, especially all of those beginning years, just to explain, I founded the company and directed it for 36 years, and of the 36, exactly half, 18, were at Mount Vernon College. And here, the extraordinary set of coincidences, of things that happened that I had nothing to do with, they just happened, that made this organization possible. And I was invited by the president of the college to come and teach there. And then within a couple of years of arriving there, guess who became the coordinator of performing arts? Then happened the incredible circumstance that Dance Place, one of my and my husband's favorite weekend excursions, it was in our neighborhood in Adams Morgan, moved to its current residence. Someone knew that I loved dance, and they came knocking on my door, and I said, well, I don't know anything about presenting dance, but if you teach me, I'm all for it, let's do it. And so we did. So the concert series at Mount Vernon College became the performing arts series at Mount Vernon College. The major critic there, Alan Kriegman, started writing very soon about the innovative and intimate programs that he had seen done at Mount Vernon College's hand chapel. And those two words were repeated by everybody who ever described these events, which happened parallel to concerts. But the concerts, many of which were organized in cooperation with the Levine School of Music. So that put me in contact with some of the best musicians in town. Every time I went to Levine, maybe our fourth or fifth component, which was opera in the chapel. And that started because a friend from the theater, Teatro Lavracas, and they wanted to direct opera. So Laura Williamson was someone with whom I immediately had a great rapport. And she said, you know, the performing arts series at Mount Vernon College, that's a long one. Let's think of a name. And she came up with the in-series because of all these in-words, intimate, innovative. And then there was a benefit with opera in English, and people with opera scenes in English, and people laughed and enjoyed every minute of it. It was also Mozart, it was Marriage of Figaro, scenes from there. And so Laura and I looked at each other and thought, maybe we should start opera in the chapel. And then the next big deal happened maybe 6 or 7 years later, when the college was basically sold to George Washington University. But then 2 years later, they decided that we cost too much money and that they needed whatever they needed, and gave me my pink slip. And the in-series is Pink Slip, and this was in June of 2000. And then a wonderful woman friend named Terry McDonald put together a bunch of people, lawyers, the whole 9 yards. And there we were in September of 2000 with a new name, No Home, but the Levine School invited us. The rest is history, as they say. And it is wonderful to see how the community came forth for us. And so it was clear to me that opera was a contribution that this community, Washington, D.C., could use, that a small opera company could and would make a difference. Another thing that was very important to the growth of the in-series was the fact that in 2003, a former student of Mount Vernon College who had done her thesis or part of her senior year work doing a couple of posters for the in-series, Luz Segura, and without Luz there would be no in-series. She is now the managing director and runs everything, and always with a smile. She's made such a huge difference.
But the real crucial factor was the enthusiasm and the support and the generosity of the artists, who performed and worked hard and designed and built, and technicians, designers, singers, actors. Everybody was interested and supportive and suggested solutions to things and worked with me to create interesting programs. And we were able to build an audience, and it made it possible then for us to survive when the moment came that we had to do it on our own or not do it at all. But then also came in the huge contribution of the board of directors, the donors, the audience members who were faithful and kept coming. There were continued to be instances that suggested that we were being helped in ways that are really imponderable. And here we are after 40 years.
Hello, friends. We all know that Carla Hubner has a talent for friendship, and I've been honored to be a Carla friend for 4 decades. So I wasn't really surprised that day in 1999 when Carla called me to ask if I'd be willing to take on a part-time minimum wage job at the in-series office. We were then still at Mount Vernon College, the one on Foxhall Road in DC. Carla explained that I would be putting my academic skills to work, maintaining the accounts and keeping the ticket records, since her assistant had left suddenly for a really nice job at the Kennedy Center. So, of course, I said yes, you would have too. This was Carla asking. It turned out to be interesting and fun. At least it was fun until that day Carla opened a letter from the college president informing her that the program was being closed down. The college had been taken over by George Washington University, and we were collateral damage. So that's how I happened to have a front row seat to watch how a leader pivots, creates, and grows. And here's to you, Carla, my dear, dear friend. One of the in-series hidden assets from the first moment has been its biggest fan, Sven. Sven Kramer, husband of Carla Hubner. There has never been anything patronizing or indulgent about Sven's wholehearted admiration of the work being produced. I would describe his support as 360 degrees, enabling Carla to put in the endless hours of management, rehearsal, performance, filling the financial holes as they arose, lending a hand, a shoulder, and a back to the mundane logistics of schlepping and staging while serving as a daily chauffeur. But most notably, Sven created a video record of every production for use in all the grant applications and other publicity. So here's to you, our tireless friend Sven. The in-series should be very proud of its years of service to the community. For maybe 20 years, we mounted special productions for DC public schools. For over a decade, we've held the annual bilingual poetry contest for students. But not all of the community service has been strictly artistic. In 2005, the Source Theater building was up for sale to a commercial developer. Carla and Sven, being almost neighbors, joined the effort to save it as a cultural resource. That's when the in-series took up tenancy. There was nobody to pay rent to. But Carla coordinated with 2 other resident groups to pay the massively overdue utility bills and get the lights turned back on. The rest is history, but there is another unsung hero. I cannot imagine how the in-series could have functioned all these years without the steady, creative, adaptive work of the multi-talented Luz Helena Segura. In my most indelible memory, Luz sits working at a desk in the sadly deteriorated Source loft, wearing her parka and her gloves as the birds fly in and out of spaces in the roof. So here's to you, our dear, dear Luce. And here's to us. Happy anniversary in series.
Cheers! Happy anniversary. I'm Terry McDonald. I was the first president of the N-Series, Inc., the nonprofit independent music arts organization that we are today. It's hard to believe, but that was almost 25 years ago. And for many years before that, Chuck and I were avid fans of the N-Series and Carla's music magic at the Hand Chapel on the Mount Vernon campus. And I know many of you that are joining us in this celebration this afternoon have been decades-long devotees of this organization. Guys, the N-Series matters. It matters because of the artistic and creative and relevant programming. It matters because of the top-notch musicians, singers, dancers, actors, backstage, house crew. It matters because of the years in the past and hopefully always in the future, the audience experiences with the joy of music brought to them not just on the outside, but within the hearts of those watching and experiencing fine performances. It's because of all of that Chuck and I continue to support and participate in the N-Series. So again, cheers, congratulations on this milestone, and let's all drink to Carla and to Tim and to many, many years in the future.
Hello, my name is Kay Horst. Tom and I started attending N-Series performances in 2004. We always loved the N-Series because it gave talented local professionals opportunities to perform in a variety of musical styles and at a high level of quality.
I'm Tom Horst. I was treasurer of the N-Series starting in 2006 and then president from 2007 to 2010. Little did I know when I signed up that my biggest contribution was to come up with a plan for surviving the Great Depression that came crashing down upon us in 2008. I'm very proud of the fact that we made it through those tough times and had the good years that followed. I'm sure the N-Series has been even more challenged by the COVID over the last 2 years, and I really congratulate the current staff and board for making it through those very tough times.
I'm John Fitzgerald Lopez, the current N-Series president. I'd like to point out to you that on the occasion of the 40th anniversary, we at the N-Series are all wearing something red, and I am wearing the only red thing I own. I have had the pleasure to serve during the transition year from our founding artistic director to our new artistic director during the challenging moments of the COVID-19 pandemic. Along with Claire, Terry, and Tom, I'd like to recognize the other past presidents of this organization, Rafe Pomerantz, Carmen Medina, and Larry Hoffman, as well as those who served and volunteered to build this organization. Many of those past and present board members are here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. On the auspicious beginning of this 40th anniversary year-long celebration, I'd like to propose a toast to Carla, Timothy, the 40 years that have been, and all the years, music and friendship that lie ahead of us. Thank you.